A 9-year-old Five Nights at Freddy's mystery has finally been solved. That's right, everyone. Here at the bizabizowchannel, youtube.com channel, YouTube, we have found lost media. Well, not really we, a very specific person did, but we'll get to that. This is a part 2 to this video I released several months ago, but if you don't want to watch it, here's the quick rundown. Out of every stock music box song featured in the FNAF franchise, the original classical melodies have been identified and documented for each one. You know, Toreador March as Freddy's music box, Swan Lake as the music in the Stage 01 minigame, etc. All of them, that is, except for 2. Mangle's Quest and Chica's Party, both from FNAF 3, have never had their original classical melodies identified in the decade that the game has been out. The only information that's been available during that time was A, the generic stock audio file names of the 2 tracks, B, the name of the stock album the recordings are a part of, and C, the place these recordings were sourced from for the game, sounddogs.com. Because of how shocked I was by the fact that this fairly intriguing mystery has gone completely undiscussed in the FNAF community this entire time, I decided to make that video and get people's eyes on it in an effort to get them solved. But your girl comes with some good news. One of these, the Mangle's Quest track, was found and fully identified only 3 days after that original video went up. However, that second song, Chica's Party, has yet to be found, meaning we still have more work to do. So here's how that Mangle's Quest song was found, and all the information we have on Chica's Party thus far. Yeah, I heard her parents are going to be away for the weekend. It's going to be insane. But first, this video is sponsored by Unvale. If you're an artist who posts your work to big social media sites, you probably know how frustrating and demoralizing it can be, especially when AI slop floods these places, making it difficult to even find legitimate human-made art. That's why I was super excited to be reached out to by Unvale, a by artists for artists social media platform that prides itself in being completely anti-AI and NFT, and free to use. Unvale emphasizes the creation and organization of original characters, allowing you to share and keep track of your OCs easily. You can create pages for each one of your little guys with extensive options for describing traits, personalities, and backstories, all in a simple and easy-to-use way. There's even a designated spot to credit others for collaborations and commissioned art and such. With these character profiles, you can even take it a step further and assign them to worlds, a feature allowing you to build and organize entire universes and narratives for them to reside in. This is a great way to connect several OCs together and flesh out their universe. This all means, of course, that there's tons of ways to explore other people's characters and worlds as well, including a featured characters section on the homepage. The coolest feature, though, in my opinion, is the market, which allows you to easily search, sell, and trade characters and adoptables. If you'd like to make an account, you can do so for free at unvale.io. Link is in the description. I highly suggest you check that out. They honestly had me at anti-AI. I can't tell you how refreshing it is to see that kind of stance taken by a platform in the year 2024. Thank you to Unvale for sponsoring. Now let's get back to the video. Although there was some sparse pieces of general information that was brought to my attention almost immediately after that first video went live regarding rights and production and whatnot, none of it had anything to do with Mangle's Quest being found. They may end up helping the Chica's Party search though, so I'll go over them later. Aside from that, the majority of emails, DMs, and comments I was getting those first couple of days were simply people sending me song possibilities. And, you know, people cracking wise that the songs might be from an adult film. And people telling me I should just ask Scott. I told you, he just got them from Sound Dogs. He doesn't know. Although a lot of the recommendations had somewhat similar styles to the 2 tunes, it was fairly obvious that none of them were it, or really even that close. A majority were just music boxes that had a similar vibe, like this one that sounds a little bit like Mangle's Quest. And this one that kinda sounds like Chica's Party. Honorable mention to this one music box video someone sent me that doesn't sound like either song, but I wanted to show it because of how hard it made me laugh when I watched it. this doohickey is not doing well. Something I found funny about a lot of the people who were sending me song possibilities was the way they worded their messages. On the one hand, you have people phrasing it like, hey, I found this song and it sounds similar to this one. It could be worth checking out. And then you have the people who are like, hey, I found the song. This is it. And then I listen to it and it's not even close. No hate at all to them, it's just funny. The latter seemed to be the majority of responses I was getting from people this first couple of days. So on the third day, when I got yet another email claiming to have found the Mangle's Quest song, I was fully prepared to listen to it and immediately roll it out like I had with all the others. So you can imagine my surprise when I took a listen and heard this. Yeah, just 3 days after that initial video, this user named Meeps Wonder found a video of a music box containing the original Mangle's Quest song in a video titled Wedding March Antique 6-Bell Fortissimo Music Box by J. Manger and O, circa 1885. The channel this was uploaded to, by the way? Vincent Freeman Antiques, the very channel I recommended searching, which is just wild to me. If I had kept looking on that channel when I was working on that first video, I very well could have found this exact upload and solved that half of the mystery right then and there. But Meeps Wonder saved me from several more hours of listening to music box music. So thanks to them for that. Hope you're doing okay, by the way. Go detox with some light jazz or something. Now, a couple things you may notice here. First is that although this is definitely the same song, it is in a higher key than the version we hear in the recording. This could either mean that this is a slightly different music box than the one that was used, or this was the same one and it was simply pitched down for the recording. The second thing is that this isn't the only song present on the music box. In fact, it's the second one we hear in this video, following the wedding march. The title of this video is obviously referring to that song, so what's the name of the Mangle's Quest one? Well, thankfully, in this video, they pan up to the song list on the bottom of the music box lid, and clearly written as the second song, we see The Fox Hunter's Galop by Marion. That's right, folks. We finally have a song title. A weirdly perfect one given the circumstances, too. It's really funny how the song that plays during the Mangle-related minigame was eventually found to have Fox in the title. Just a wild coincidence there. Very poetic,
No, Patrick. Scott Coffin didn't do this on purpose. He got this from a stock audio library under the generic title we previously discussed, meaning there's no way he could have known this was the title, unless he just happened to know this incredibly obscure and difficult to find.
The next logical step, then, was to search this title and find a non-music box version of the piece, right? Well, there was a problem. This song is so obscure that virtually no recordings of its original composition could be found on the internet. Searching the name on YouTube only resulted in a completely unrelated song with an extremely similar name, The Fox Hunt Galop by G.H. Barnard. And yeah, I listened to it, it's definitely not our song. Googling it also resulted in next to nothing except for one thing. This. Yes, sheet music for this very song, written for piano, including both solo and duet versions. A few listings selling it was all that came up on Google. One of them had actually been included in the email Meeps Wonder sent to me, in fact. Almost immediately, I bought one of the copies listed, but that obviously wouldn't ship for a while, so in the meantime, these listings were all we had to go off of. However, between just 2 eBay listings, we had almost all of the pages right there in picture form. All we had to do was get them in front of someone who could read music and boom, we can hear what the original composition sounded like. I made a tweet calling for anyone who could do just that, and sure enough, multiple people stepped up to the plate. However, I was stoopy and just posted the duet accompaniment pages, so they didn't have the melody. Thank you to the kind folks that recorded these videos for me anyways. After I posted the correct pages, though, we finally got to hear it, courtesy of @BubblyIggy, who digitally transcribed it. BubblyIggy used a bell sound as the instrument here to replicate the music box, but if you want to hear a proper piano version, we do have a YouTube upload of the piece now, by a channel called John R. Allen. With the amount that I've listened to this audio stock recording, both in the FNAF games themselves and on my own researching for these videos, it's wild hearing that original composition for the first time as it was written. It kind of feels like seeing a celebrity in person after years and years of only seeing them on a screen. It's kind of surreal. I did eventually receive that copy of the sheet music in the mail, by the way, and although we had already solved it before it arrived, it is a really neat little piece of history to own and show off in its entirety. This thing is very old. I'm afraid I'm gonna flip the pages wrong and rip it. It's very brittle looking. Hey, there's lyrics to this song written here. Would you look at that? The plan is to get high-quality scans of these pages to the best of my ability and make them publicly available for everyone to view, so should be in the description of this video if you want to check that out. So there it is. All of our questions have been answered, right? Well, there's still one remaining. Who is the composer? I mean, it says it's someone named Marion, but that's not a full name. Who is that? Well, she seems to be a woman based on the her here. Love to see it. But that's all the info the sheet music gives us, unfortunately. Now, if you saw that tweet I made announcing the discovery of the music box, you may remember that I listed her name as Marion McGregor. However, now that I've looked into things more, I'm fairly confident that was completely incorrect. It's just Marion. That's all we know. I got this from one of the eBay listings that has Marion McGregor right in the item name. However, in my excitement, I didn't stop to figure out where they actually got the McGregor part from. And now that I have the sheet music in front of me, I can confirm that it was not from here. McGregor does not appear anywhere in here. If you scroll down on this eBay page, they do have some more information in the item description, including a bit about the composer here. It seems they got this alleged full name from the National Library of Scotland, but was then unable to find any further information about her. Which, same, searching that name turns up nothing, just like Marion alone. So I went to check the National Library of Scotland, and sure enough, I found the Fox Hunter's Galop page they were referring to. Under names here, we have two separate names, Marion and then McGregor listed separately as former owner. Okay, so I think what happened here is that the eBay seller mistakenly read this as a first and last name, when these are two completely different people. The composer, named Marion, and Mrs. McGregor, who is the person who donated this specific copy of the sheet music to the Library of Scotland, hence why it says former owner. At least I'm pretty sure that's the case. I tried to contact the library themselves asking for clarification, but as of the recording of this video, they have not gotten back to me. So, hey, whoever updated the Fnaf Wiki with our findings, you might want to scrub the McGregor part. With the information we have, all we can say for certain is that the composer's name is Marion. I apologize for accidentally spreading a small piece of misinformation there. That's why you always double check your sources. Hey, it's Editing Ty from the future. The Library of Scotland actually did eventually get back to me, and they pretty much confirmed my theory. From what I understand, the McGregor name came from a random signature on the cover of their copy, which they speculated to be a former owner. Since mine doesn't have the signature, that seems pretty likely. So, yeah, there you go. So, we found Mangle's quest. But what's up with Chica's party? Oh, sorry, Chica's intimate get-together. Well, like I said earlier, there was some new information regarding the production and possible ownership of these tracks that was found pretty quickly, so let's start there. Almost right off the bat, I was told that Hot Ideas Inc., the company I had speculated to be the rights owner of these tracks, seems to no longer exist. A member of my Patreon server, SecretQWERTY10, found on an open corporate database site that a company named Hot Ideas Inc., located in California, just like this site we found says, was suspended by the Secretary of State in 2021. Yeah, that's probably why their email is no longer active. Not looking good, the Hot Idea heads. However, I think I was mistaken in saying that they were ever the rights holder. In fact, given the fact that these melodies themselves are public domain, I don't think it's possible for anyone to actually own the copyright of these. I think Hot Ideas Inc. was similar to a site like sounddogs.com, where they just sold the licensing rights to the stock albums they compile. Someone that's more knowledgeable on the subject, though, feel free to tell me how that actually works. We do have some info on the production of these recordings, though. Secret QWERTY came across these songs on a different stock audio library site, and this one listed both a quote-unquote composer and a producer, Craig Austin and Sokan, respectively. Now, I say quote-unquote composer because this guy obviously did not compose these century-old public domain songs. He's not Marion, after all. Or, you know, Mozart. I've seen some theories that this Chica's Party song in particular might be an original composition by Craig, who does also do original music and sounds. However, given its presence with all the others and the fact that it definitely sounds like it was recorded from a real music box, I highly doubt that. I'm pretty sure this is just the guy who recorded these from the original antique music boxes and mastered them for digital audio release, and since this site requires a composer name, he was put down, because it's a public domain piece without any known title or composer, so as far as they're concerned, he's the creator. That's all they have. Socan seems to be the name of the production company he did this under as well, and again, I'm not sure if that means they have any type of ownership over these stock songs, but either way, it seems that they are where it came from. Another member of my Discord, Mayday, found a contact and reached out to Socan seeing if they had any information on this piece. However, nothing of use has come of that yet. Their response feels kind of automated, so I'm not sure anything will, but you never know. Just another reminder, don't try and contact anyone that has already been contacted in either of these videos, and if you find a new lead, please be responsible. Thank you. Now, something you may notice about this specific site is that the stock titles of both of these songs are different here. Mangle's Quest is pretty similar, bright Parlor music box theme. However, Chica's Party is quite a bit different, fairy dance music box theme. In fact, this same name for the track was found on a different site in an album called Vintage Music Boxes, sent to me by @XanderAlsip on Twitter. So, is the name of this song Fairy Dance? Because it's such a generic name, there are a lot of varying results when searched, including Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, which obviously is not it.
And make him suck my cock.
However, one that continues to come up is an old Scottish folk reel named Fairy Dance by Nathaniel Gow. A lot of people have sent me this one saying it was it. So, is that? Oh, no, I don't think so. Once more, they do have a similar style and key, and it is a folk song, which matches up with our other stock title. So I get why people are saying this, but I'm just not convinced. Here's the comparison with Chica's Party slowed down a bit. I think with how fast and numerous these notes are, you can kind of trick yourself into thinking they're the same, but if you really examine these two melodies, they don't have any meaningful overlap. Like, I've listened to these things over and over again, and I can't find a portion of the melodies that line up well enough. Especially this latter portion of Chica's Party that a lot of people seem to forget, which doesn't sound like it could be placed anywhere in this other song. What's more damning to me, though, is that these two tunes have completely different time signatures. The Scottish reel is in 4/4, and although it can be kind of hard to hear, Chica's Party is in 3/4 time, a bit waltz-ish almost. I suppose you could say it's some kind of loose interpretation of the Scottish fairy dance, but if that's the case, I would definitely need some conclusive evidence to convince me. I think if the song we're looking for is named Fairy Dance, it's a completely different fairy dance, or at least some other variation of that title. Even then though, this is just another generic stock title. We don't really know where that part of the name comes from. Sure, it's possible that this came from the title of the original composition, but maybe it didn't. Maybe they just gave it this name because it sounds like the kind of song that would be named Fairy Dance. Hell, maybe the original music box had fairies painted on it, so they just ran with that name. Who knows? Regardless, that title is what we have at the moment, so I think it's at least worth properly searching in case there is some other song named Fairy Dance out there hiding from us. Aside from that though, where do we go from here? Well, as I recommended in the last video, now further proved by the Mangle's Quest discovery, finding that original music box is still probably going to be our best bet. There's still a lot more out there on YouTube as far as vintage music box content goes, so it's very possible that a video of its music box has been sitting out there this whole time as well. Maybe even on Vincent Freeman Antiques, although I'm not sure how much of that channel has been searched yet, so that well might have been run dry by now. Aside from that though, I think finding some sort of contact with Craig Austin himself could also be worthwhile. If he was indeed the one who recorded these music boxes, he may still have info about it filed away somewhere. I wasn't able to find anything myself, but maybe someone out there will be more lucky. But I must once more iterate, please for the love of God, don't go around messaging random people named Craig Austin asking about FNAF shit. In fact, if someone out there is able to find a contact of his, I ask that you refrain from doing the contacting yourself and just send it over to me instead. I know it's probably exhausting to hear me repeat the same thing over and over again, but it's the FNAF fandom where a lot of children reside.
This Freddy Fazbear's pizza.
No, this is not Freddy Fazbear.
That's pretty much all I have for you this time, though. If any further discoveries are made, I'll be sure to update on my Twitter or Blue Sky, and if it gets solved, I'll probably make another follow-up video. Once more, I'd like to thank Meeps Wonder for their discovery and everyone else who helped that I mentioned. If it weren't for all of you, this video would not exist. Before we go, though, I do actually have one more discovery that I've been saving to leave you with. Buckle up for this one. It's a real doozy. And I'd like to thank my Skrunklies over on Patreon. Thank you for supporting me. Prism, April B, Creative JK, Adelaide Parade, Soy Sauce Flavored Tide Pod, Chico Mode, P. Williver, Fred Shrooms, Blargan Snarf, Siderian, Best BA Player Italy, Awesome AC, Xenodude Face, Zayseer, Dominic, Fedco, Sled Masters, Certainly Cecilia, The Papini Bros Emporium, Spoo, Cat Does a Thing, Toboji, Jurgen the Bull, Juliet with a Handgun, Skilla Kongmin, Battle Axolotl, JubeTube, Mallow, Bubblegum Bitch, Secret QWERTY 10, BC Warfare, Derpity Doo, Emmy B, Wow Wow Till It's Wubsy, Akira Kisho Huton, Something Here, Beta Afro, LR Hudson, Sugar Danny, Absolute Goober, Kane, June, Samwow the Shamwow, Bronze-tastic, Drywall Jelly, Cracked Vinyl, Jumpman Maro, Michael Merritt, Queerbee, Soxyfee, Alora Borealis, Eliup82, Leela Hacks, Thiku M. Beans, Jacob the Cat Be Stinky, Zoinksman, Zippopotamus, Evie, Null, and Lottie Scanlines. If you'd like to join these wonderful folks, you can check out my Patreon in the link in the description. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and peace out. Wow wow till it's... Oh my god. Wow wow till it's Wubsy. Kitty, I'm not talking to you, girl. I appreciate your excitement, but...